Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome you again to Rising Bharat News at 360 Degree. With us today, we have Mr. Lalit Mohan Tyagi from Calcutta, founder of the Indian Democratic Congress and a very well-known chartered accountant. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Welcome. And the other person on our panel today is Mr. Rajiv Lochan, a well-known Supreme Court lawyer and part of Modi, Sena, Narendra Modi. We have a very interesting topic for Congress and BJP today, sir. We are discussing Mr. Modi, Narendra Modi, 7-year leadership. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I think there was a glitch in the connection. Good evening, sir. Welcome to our show. We would like to discuss with you. I have a few questions that our viewers are very keen on with what has been going on for the last 7 years in our country with our new leadership or our current leadership. Sir, my question to you at this point is, we've obviously had Mr. Narendra Modi as our leader, Indian leader, for the past 7 years. He's already sitting in his second term. What is your opinion as far as the last 7 years of Mr. Modi has been as leader of the Indian BJP party?
Okay,
yeah, Lochan,
I will take it.
Yeah, please start.
Yes. Yeah, eventually, you just see first, of course, Mr. Modi is basically now, he's a prime minister of a country and it's a second term. Maybe it's historical because there are very few prime ministers has been elected the second term and with such a majority. That is very, very important, like maintaining the majority in the second term also. It means like a majority of the people of India is happy with him. Now I am trying to bring as a point-wise context into that matter, like what changes happen in the last 7 years. First thing, as I say, when you take the era of Manmohan Singh government, so many other government also I will tell you. Like other governments are majorly, they were the government of status quo. Like basically, okay, whatever way the things are moving, let it move without, and whichever is a major issues of the country that should be ignored or neglected or just like, pass over due to the political reason. But first time we found a leadership in a country which can clearly say that like, he knows the way, goes the way and shows the way. That's very, very important. And where this leadership or this government, because I'm talking about in the context of not only Mr. Modi, I'm talking about the context of this Modi government, what exactly that dynamics, that the changes which has brought in the last 7 years. I will start with the number one. Number one, as I say, this government have a basic policy to bring that benefit to the last person who is in the queue. That is what the philosophy of this government and how they have achieved it or how they have done. The first part, when they started working into the banking process, and we call it like under that we call it like Jan Dhan Yojana, basically in that connecting nearly more than 14 to 18 crore of the population. Like you just see, if you take around 15-20% of the population to the banking who did not have a bank account even. So that's what exactly that one of it was a game changer. Actually, it's a game changer because I have a very great respect for our ex-Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. At least he was honest in saying that, okay, I send 1 rupee from the center, and by the time it reaches to the people, they get only 17 paise. It means in between that 83 paise is gone. But unfortunately, or whatever the circumstances, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, he could not sort out this matter. They could not solve this problem. But here I can say at least this government by that Yojana, because the number one, that Jan Dhan Yojana, this has been a landmark from there. The direct transfer DBT scheme has started working on, and where people are getting benefit directly to the account. That is there. So that was a one very, very landmark thing that would happen in this government. Now I'm coming to the second part, because I will talk with the statistics. Second part, as I tell you, the rural electrifications. Yes, I will not deny that, okay, before this government, there was no electricity. But yes, as far as the rural electrification is concerned, there was several villages or several, like whether it's a state like UP or maybe in the Bihar, maybe Bengal, maybe in Nagaland, there are several states were there in the rural, in the villages especially, there was no access to the electricity. Okay, so this is what exactly this government have achieved, nearly 99.9% of the rural electrification. That's very, very important thing. Okay, now the third very, very important achievement, which I'm coming to that, like which can give a parameter to any developing country to a developed country. And here, when he talked about the hygiene, when he talked about making a toilet at the mass level, because somewhere we were lagging behind, because any developing country, if I will be very honest to tell you, basically, if you want to differentiate between the developing country and a developed country, just you go to the toilet of that particular country or any public toilet, you will come to know what is the status of that country. So what happened, this is a very basic thing, but basically nobody has worked because nobody has gone till that level. For that, you require such a leadership where you can go to the ground and you can see yourself. And that's what this government has recognized. And when he, in the first speech itself, when he came to the Red Fort, he announced that, okay, no, now we have to get into this. Basically, at least we have to on the rural hygiene and basically making of the toilets. And there are, like, as I tell you on record, I think so more than 20 the toilets has been made in the all villages across. And as far as the cities are concerned, or the whatever facility, because now at least any public places, we will find that we are in the very, very better off. Like even you go to the, of course, airport was earlier also it was better, but it has improved. But if you go to now railway stations also, and majority of the railway stations, you find that cleanliness, you will find that hygiene, and you will find a better toilet facility. So that was one of the very, very major achievement, and which has touched the heart of every common household. That was the third thing which I was talking about. Now I'm coming to the fourth very, very important thing, is that basically now we are talking about one of the scheme, or we call it a startup. Basically, a startup is all about giving the confidence to the young entrepreneurs. Okay, here basically the being an entrepreneur earlier, yes, and if you want to be an entrepreneur, you require a huge capital, and that you don't know where to go. But here, this is the first time a government which has started recognizing the talents. If you have a good business ideas, then you can go to the government, and there is a fund has been allocated for a young entrepreneur, and that is called the startups. And from there, what happened? Like these startup has started coming up, and I tell you, today there are at least thousands of millionaires have been developed with the leadership of this government. Okay, so this is the fourth very, very important thing I was talking about. Now the fifth, basically, because you are talking about the 7 year of, I have a 70 achievement, but if I will talk about all that, this will take your time. I will talk only 7. I will talk only 7. 5 I have completed. I'm going to talk. I will talk 2 of them more. One more I'm going to talk about. Yes, the Ram Mandir issue. The Ram Mandir issue was there, like which was pending in the various. You just see it was a domain of the court, which has started in the British era. It was nearly 150 years ago, that problem. And everybody was passing the bucks, basically, one government to the another government, and they kept on passing. But in this leadership, in this government, finally the decision has been taken. And because it's basically this a cultural identity of a country, okay, where we can build up a Ram temple. If it is not in India, then there.
Mr. Lochan, Ram Mandir, the decision was taken by the BJP or by the court, or is it the same thing?
Mr. Tyagi, I will come to that. Like I tell you I will come to, you can have your own turn, no problem. I'm only talking about, I am about to finish. The next one is coming about like Article 370, basically. Article 370, again, it was a 50 years, 70 years pending issue. How a country, because a country as a whole, because that's, you need to get a feel, okay, how we can allow in the same country there are 2 flags and 2 ministers and 2 different rules. It's against the value of a country or value of a constitution. And that's for the reason that status quo also has been finally removed, and Article 370 has been revoked, and CA has been revoked. So these 7 points, I think, it's a landmark achievement, and which has given a complete new perspective and given a confidence to the people in the governance of this government. That's what I want.
Mr. Tyagi, what is your viewpoint on this? I mean, and while you're talking, I would like you to mention the demonetization, the farmers' protest, Because I know you would have some anti-points. So if you can mention the PMO fund or the COVID situation, all these points also I would like to bring out to light. I mean, the pros and the cons of the government.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You see, first of all, let me clarify that I am from Indian Democratic Congress, and it has got no truck with Congress or BJP or any party. I am for India. First of all, what I would like to say that it's after years and years, we got a prime minister who could actually speak. One. Number two, the crowds swayed when he spoke. When he speaks, still the crowds sway. The people listen to him. Somebody who is very, very powerful while delivering the thoughts of the government or the direction of the government. But unfortunate thing is that let me say that I don't have to really say this. If you look at the election campaign of the prime minister, and for the last few elections, wherever state or whatever, wherever he has been going, because he is the more or less the only speaker of the government who speaks at the elections, he has not spoken anything about his government's achievements. He speaks of various things, but he, as initially he used to speak about his achievement of the government, he himself did not speak anything. And it is very, very ironic. You will say why it is important. It is ironic because he is a prime minister who loves to advertise as much as possible about his government, about himself. And to the extent that there was a RTI inquiry, and it was told that rupees 4,880 crores of taxpayers' money have gone into the advertising for achievement of the government.
Yes.
Now, what I feel on this is that this was a very historic opportunity which has been totally squandered. We were blessed by a prime minister who could speak, who could deliver very well, and the public swayed with him, number one. Number two, there was a historical mandate for them. And third very important point, that initial 3 to 4 years, the oil prices in the world were the lowest. So we had all the money available to us. The difference between the pricing which we gave the oil to our people and the cost, it was such a huge amount. In fact, I remember him saying that ये मेरी कोई गलती नहीं है. अगर आपको ऐसा कोई प्रधानमंत्री मिलता है कि उसके आने से oil prices दुनिया की गिर जाए और benefit सबको मिल रहा है, तो क्या बुराई है आपको? So all this is something that we could have in India bought an orbital change. The orbit in which we are, we could have gone to the next orbit with taking into all this. But unfortunately, the widespread reforms could not be taken up. The other changes what were necessary could not be taken up. Instead of that, what we did was demonetization. It failed on every one of its stated objectives. Demonetization, they said, it will stop the terror funding. Number two, it will stop the fake notes. Number three, the black money will be gone forever. On all three counts, this particular demonetization failed. In fact, it wiped out all the jobs which were with us. So that was number one. Number two, the farmers have been betrayed. Everybody thought, yes, achhe din aa gaye. The farmers' suicide, if you compare in the last 7 years, have rose very sharply. In the budget, they talked about some minimum support price plus 50%, and a sort of a version was given which nobody got satisfied, nobody could understand what are they talking about. And in fact, it did not translate into anything else. Then, without even looking at our own backyard, we immediately started importing the wheat and pulses, which led to a huge domestic prices of the, there was a crash in the domestic prices of the grains. On top of that, the Land Acquisition Act 2013 that was passed, where forcibly the land can be taken from the farmers. Now, indebted farmers,
No, that
they
has not been passed. That has been
they-
stopped. That has been stopped. It
they
has not
they
been passed.
they marched. Why was it at all even initiated? They marched thrice at least, or 4 times, I remember, all these years to the parliament up to Delhi for justice, but nothing was given. Not only that, the people who committed suicide, their children came to about a distance of 1 kilometer from the parliament, and believe me so, that not a single BJP representative met them and even told them, please, we acknowledge your presence, we'll do something. Whether you do something or not, at least they should have been met. Why the people, such people who could travel to that distance, why they were not met at all? That was something very, very amazing. How could a government do that? Number 3, there is now again, the whole Rafale deal, it was rewritten. Why? See, you have to understand that the jets for which the prices was, a particular price was fixed, we practically paid 3 times the price, and we did not follow the we did not follow the procurement procedure. Then they cited whenever the government was questioned, they cited that there is a privacy, issue, which was again contradicted by the French president also and the press also, that there was no privacy issue involved. They were all clear. Then the Rafale controversy also, it goes because the whole manufacturing was given to a group of businessmen which failed in their own business, which they could not perform anything, which, I mean, all their companies are into the Insolvency Act and all that, and indebted. So they did not qualify, they did not even qualify for that particular thing, but still it was given to them. Why? Then similarly, in media, nobody can speak. Any media which tries to speak against the government or anything, they are shut immediately. They are absolutely removed outright.
At least Rising Bharat is giving you the liberty. Rising Bharat is giving the liberty and supporting your endeavor.
I think it has not come to their light that such a thing exists. Otherwise, by now we would have heard from them. Then you see, you have to understand that the whole institutions of India, they have been weakened. Whether it is CBI, whether it is Election Commission, whichever, Lokpal, we don't hear anymore. The Lokpal was the initial thing which was there. Now the Supreme Court has to nudge him that yes, please do this, do this. Why it has been forgotten? CBI is absolutely in this area. I mean, it is being used. I mean, I don't have to explain that. And the biggest failure, in fact, I would rather say, of the government has been on the, it has in these 7 years, it has cultivated only one thing. And that one thing is hate. Whether it is the IT cell or media cell or whatever, the only thing, if WhatsApp, you look at the WhatsApp, you will find out.
Let me interrupt at this point. I know you have told us all this. If I may interrupt, do you feel that this is a crippling of the democracy of India?
Absolutely.
You think there's a crippling of democracy in our country, whether it's media or whether it's management or whether it's demonetization?
Very interesting. Very interesting. I will answer to that. I will answer to that.
I'll come to
just
that.
see. Now I would like to, because this is really, you have raised a question of crippling of democracy. What about the Bengal? After winning the election, there was a riot. We are going away from the subject matter.
No,
crippling of democracy. Crippling of democracy. Talk about that.
Nobody
is talking about 150,000 people, 150,000 Hindus are living. Your democracy will be over. 150,000 people are staying in the camp. Nobody is talking about.
No
media houses is talking about. It's a shame. It's a shame on the democracy.
We can take it up as a different subject.
Talking about.
It cannot
and nobody is talking about that. Like, are you all Hindu will be free from this country? You will see the another division of the Bengal. That is in the because that is started from there. You are talking about crippling of democracy. Not a single party has condemned. Not a single opposition has condemned. No Congress has condemned. 150,000. Now the Supreme Court is going to give the answer. Who will be responsible? You have made of Bengal as another Kashmir. That's why you're not taking it that. Crippling of democracy. Basically, my friend, the democracy will only prevail when the parties like BJP will be in this country. Otherwise, after 10, 20 years, there won't be any democracy. Because you just see the demography. It's a demography, the way it's changing. You can see that. You are being the victim. No, we can laugh. We can laugh. Kashmiris were also laughing in Kashmir. Kashmiris were also laughing in Kashmir. In Delhi also people were laughing. There are 50 people has been killed in Delhi riots. We can say that. Okay, tomorrow you can choose any other destination. Today I got a call from the Bengal. There are 5 Bengalis. They were calling, they are planning to shift. They said they don't want to stay in that state. What about talking about the crippling? The democracy will prevail. And as you're talking about the institution, have you ever seen any state where the CBI has been done a gherao? A chief minister does a dharna? What about the crippling?
I stay at a particular district where the 80% people around me are Muslims. I have not even for a single moment in 24 hours at any moment of time felt.
The question is that, like, okay, I have again, let's
get back to our topic. The topic you have chosen today.
Therefore, as we talk
I think we are deviating from it. Crippling of democracy is not the topic.
This demography, as I'm telling you, today this demography is 30%. Those peaceful people are 30%. The day they will become a 40 or 45%, there won't be any democracy. There won't be any democracy. There will be a division. There won't be any democracy.
Do you think our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, first term versus second term, has there been more empowerment that he's got, or with that empowerment has there been some strong action taken which could have been negative in the longer run for our country, or positive, either way? My question basically is implying, is Narendra Modi's team driving Mr. Modi, or is Mr. Modi in the driver's seat and the true leader for our country? Because there are many facets that are coming across as far as
I would have been very happy if either of them was driving.
My question is to Mr. Lochan. What do you feel, Mr. Lochan? What is your take on him being Prime Minister in first term and second term? And if he was allowed a third term, or if he would, I wouldn't say allow, but if the democratic India allows him another term, what are your thoughts on that?
You just see, we are one thing I tell you, because as this government, and most important thing is that you have asked me a valid question about that. Okay, why I support, when somebody asks me why you support this government. First of all, this government, it is not about like a Modi has a planning. Modi has a planning around 15 years ago in place. What I am gonna do in another 10 years, and that all is in tick mark, like, we make a list of that basically, and that direction it is not only, it's not again one thing I to clarify you, Modi has his team of people, and Modi take the feedback. Most important thing is that you can see, and that is a constant feedback, because without constant feedback, no government can survive. They know the people nerves, and they know what India needed, basically. So yes, this government has why I chose to be the part of supporting this government, because somewhere they feel the first time I see a prime minister who is prepared, whose vision is very, very clear, what he want to do in another 10 years tenure. From the day one, he talked about 10 years, the things I want to change, or the things, these problems exactly I want to resolve. So therefore, it's not about like whether Modi team is driving Modi or Modi is driving the team. No, Modi team is in place, and they are dedicated.
I'd like to qualify this particular statement. I'd like to qualify this statement of yours. See, the problem is not that. I said in the beginning itself that we have a prime minister who is very good at speaking, very good at this. Now, the only problem is this, that the team which has been chosen to drive, to give the feedback, to do that, is good for nothing, as proved in last 7 years. I wish that team can be changed and we can have
Is there a possibility of the execution falling short of the vision?
absolutely, absolutely, totally. Otherwise,
Yeah,
this
that-
prime
that
minister
area,
we could have
of course.
utilized.
I cannot deny that there is always ground for improvement, because end of the day, you have to work with the people. Most important thing I want to bring you here, basically, you have to work with the people. And end of the day,
The leader
this is
has to choose the
one very
right people.
important thing. You just see, like I tell you, if a government of India has a central government policy, because we have to clearly understand we are in the federal structure, the central government, they are more into the policy kind of thing, and execution is done by the state. You have to be very, very clear. You have to accept that. Now, for example, if a government, central government brought a policy like Ayushman Bharat, like a health insurance for nearly 5 lakh rupees for every Indian citizen. But what happened? Like there are certain few states who doesn't want to join. I don't want to be the part of it. I don't want to take that facility. Same way, the facility to the farmers, like you just see the minimum support price, or they want to give say there is you can say the social security or a small money to help the farmer for when they start their seasons for the harvesting, whatever they want to buy. Like that's a small social security with the government wanted to bring. And there, but as I say, some of the state is not participating.
Hey,
So what happened?
Mr. Lochan, yeah, let us not talk about out of the 34 states. Let's not talk about 4 states. What about the rest of them? 29 states. 29 states will be doing very well. They are not. That's not. That's not true.
Execution is only possible when you leave
execution is not even being done in Madhya Pradesh and other states where the BJP is in power.
I tell you a very, very important thing. Mr. Modi has clearly said that let's leave politics for an election year. You do the politics, no problem. But when the election is over, when your election is over, then after that,
he is not practicing it, unfortunately. You have to please understand. You are no. Please understand. I'll give you the statistics. India.
He has been discriminated. Can you give me a single incident? Can you tell me a single incident where he has been a discriminatory? Can you give me a single incidence?
We are not going
he for has been giving the same facility to the Kerala, same facility to the Bengal, same facility to the Odisha, where his government is not there, where his state government is not the BJP government.
Yes, we are aware. But please understand this very simple issue, that the Bengal agricultural growth for last 5 years is 5.2%, whereas the average Indian agricultural growth is only 3.1%. We are doing well.
Okay, at least they don't need.
People below poverty line in Bengal is 14%, whereas the India's average is about 25 to 30%.
Okay, Bengal. I take your word. Bengal is the richest state. Bengal is the richest state of India.
Absolutely. That is what I tell. That is why
I think so. This is a news for me also.
Please read the Government of India statistics issued by Modi government. You will realize them. And number 2.
Okay, tomorrow I think so. Your Telegraph News will have this kind of thing that Bengal has been declared as the richest state of India.
Absolutely, it is. There is no doubt about it. You are taking it. You are making a joke of it. It is not joke. It is a fact. Please tell your other states of the BJP government wherever they are ruling. Then show them that this is what is happening. Please see with all the positives and with all the implementations.
Now that Mamata Banerjee is back in her chair in Bengal, I have a question. Would you be happy to see BJP or Mr. Modi back in his seat in his term 3? Would that be any possibility for you? How would you do that if that happened?
I could not get.
No, it's no possibility. No, there is nobody is against him for a very far. There is no leader around him. Most important, you have to understand the third term is already reserved. There is no leader around him. Technically speaking, I tell you,
who is the leader? We are running out of the time.
Opposition. Who is in his opposition? You will tell me that.
Mr. Lochan, we are running. Opposition. We are running out of the time. Either we go for a second session. Tell me what do you want to do?
My question is very simple, actually. My question is, फिर एक बार will it be Modi सरकार और अब की बार एक नई सरकार, हिंदुस्तान है तैयार? What is our
no, there There
Can
will be
I
as
can I answer? Can I answer that?
alternative.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that?
Yes,
My
please go ahead, Mr.
my choice would be that Narendra Modi should be retained as Prime Minister, but the rest of the people will have to be a combination of all parties. I do not know how this is possible under the Constitution because he is a good leader. He will be able to get the work done, but the support and the people under him, as of now, in last 7 years or 10 years, the total thing are good for nothing. We have missed out a fantastic opportunity. I was just counting. I have counted only 7 points. I can give you 10 more where we could have done. What we are counting is Ayushman Bharat, is that, I mean, nothing of that sort. That Swachh Bharat is started by Mahatma Gandhi. And now, yes, when the government run, a country is running a 70th year plus, then one or the other scheme will take up and they will run. But what was required from him was totally something different, that the India could have come out a different country altogether, not only restricted to the rural electrification. Electrification was in any case happening.
What do you feel,
He might have given
Mr.
more
Modi
respect to it. The roads were being constructed. He might have given some.
Where do you feel after 7 years, Mr. Modi fallen short? What is your opinion? Where does he falter? Where do you think he could have improved?
No, you just see like as far as in the if you say or you want Mr. Tyagi will answer this better, I think so. If you,
No, you can
No, I
answer.
want you to answer. I would
Absolutely.
love
okay, you want my okay. No, because I tell you, if you want a really short analysis in that case as a 360-degree analysis, I tell you,
Yes, please.
as I say, in the last 7 years, of course, the things which he brought to the perspective, he tried to touch the common people. That's very much there. He tried to bring the benefit. But yes, somewhere he can be, as I agree with Mr. Tyagi here, basically, as far as execution is concerned, still some bureaucratic pull-up is required, or a team is required where we cannot leave it. Like, for example, in this second wave of Corona, I have somewhere in the feeling that as the government was directing to all the state to take action for the preparation, but at the same time, the bureaucratic audit was required because they know that the oppositions or there are certain level of state failures to execute on the time has resulted some major damages that is there.
Okay.
So I see that from the next time, the government need to be more alert as far as the execution is concerned and audit on the timely audit because it's very, very required because you know.
See, my last word on that before the time runs out is a very simple issue that yes, we need a very strong leader like Modi, but the subject matter have to be different. We are Indians. We should not follow the systems of America and systems of Britain and other countries. We are basically entrepreneurs. We should be allowed. The government should give a free hand to all entrepreneurs if required. Please, in my personal opinion, it is required that we abolish all these acts like income tax and this and that. Companies make very simple thing and ask our businessmen that please go ahead and make in India. Do it. The GST itself alone will look after the taxes which can be utilized for development of the country. One. Number two, all the inputs which go into the production to bring down the cost of a product should be minimized as much as possible. Maybe the interest rates, maybe the petrol prices, they should be like, practically zero, so that our products are competitive across the world. We are collecting the revenue from petrol, from other things, and we want our products to compete. How? He should ensure that every institution has its own research work going into it. So those are the kinds of orbital changes being required. Why our, the Ayurveda and all other things, why they are not being followed, they are not following the procedure of peer audit, this, that, and those products are released on worldwide basis. Instead of that, we are trying to, tell Ramdev Baba and others who have done so much in Ayurvedic that yes, we'll put you in jail, you should this. What is happening here? Why? What for? A prime minister should intervene in such a case. It's a huge case. He is one of our multinational companies. He has come in. So he should be given a right methodology. The hospital should be told that those products should be carried out. So my thing is that please somebody suggest the prime minister that get rid of the current team, get good people, ensure that this nation becomes Sone ki Chidiya. We have nothing against the Prime Minister. We have nothing against anybody except for if they're a failure, yes, we will discuss, we will tell. And they have, whether they listen or not, whether Mr. Lochan shouts on behalf of Modi Sana, let him. But the question is, India has to become Sone ki Chidiya again. How does it become? It can become only through our people, our entrepreneurs. Let us set them free. Let's set them free.
Transparency. We're expecting more and more from the BJP government as a whole. We cannot take away Modi from his team or his team from Modi, but we would appreciate that a few more, I would say, intellectual or economic points and issues are taken to the forefront and have a better execution of the vision Modi has for India. Thank you so much, Mr. Tyagi, for being on the show. Thank you so much, Mr. Lochan. Thank you so much, my viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.